let's take a look at some of the players that are under contract going into, and we'll do rapid fire with this, Johnny. Quarterback room, Kyler Murray, no questions asked. I mean, Kyler's coming back. He's franchise quarterback. Clayton Tune's the only other quarterback on this roster.
Clayton Tune will be back.
James Conner, Michael Carter, Amari DeMercado, and Tony Jones Jr. on a futures contract. Those are your running backs.
I think it stays the same until after the draft.
Wide receivers, you've got Michael Wilson, Rondell Moore, and Zach Pascal on their contract.
Rondell Moore, I think, is going to be on the team until the draft, and then I think around the draft, he could potentially be moved.
You think
or after the draft?
You think they move off of Pascal? You think he's in the second year of his 2-year contract?
I think they love him. That was a signing by Austin Ford. They love him in the locker room. He was a key cog in their run game. He was on the field. I think he played more snaps than Rondell Moore this year, probably on average. When he played, he probably played more than Rondell Moore.
And until they find a better wide receiver blocker like Zach Pascal, Michael Wilson's their second best, but nobody does it right now better than Zach Pascal. Andre Bocellia, Daniel Arias, Caden Davis, and Jeff Smith are all on futures contracts. Arias, I think, is somebody to kind of follow along with just because of his size and the opportunity. Tight ends, Trey McBride, Elijah Higgins, Travis Vokalek, who they added, 6'7" tight end from the Baltimore Ravens, got in there. Made some nice blocks. Blake Whiteheart, the undrafted rookie free agent out of Wake Forest. And then Bernard Saikovitz, he was added to a futures contract.
Real quick, the tight end room, the top two guys are established, and then everybody's a fringe guy after the fact, but I do want to address Clayton Tune real fast because everybody's saying get rid of Clayton Tune, not impressed with Tune. Tune can go. I think if Jacoby Brissett's available this offseason and he's cheap, I think the Cardinals are going to have a conversation about Jacoby Brissett because if Kyler Murray were to go down, they would want somebody not named Clayton Tune to take that baton. And I also think Jacoby Brissett on those QB sneaks, you feel more comfortable with somebody like that compared to Clayton Tune. So I think they'd like another veteran quarterback in the QB room. I don't want to say Tune won't be on the team, but it just really feels like that was a flyer that they took last year. Maybe he sticks around, but I think somebody LVL7 saying draft a QB. I almost feel like maybe next year you can do that, but this year you got to load up on the rest of this roster. Jacoby Brissett's not going to cost you any money, and we know that they were interested last offseason. Same with Joshua Dobbs. So if Kyler Murray has to miss a start or two, you cannot turn this over to Clayton Tune.
Deuce saying that MHJ's favorite podcast is PHNX Cardinals. I didn't know that. That's a nice little fun fact that Marvin Harrison Jr. tuning in. Probably loves hearing his name a lot. This one's an exciting group, the offensive line.
Yeah.
Paris Johnson Jr., Will Hernandez, Yelder Froholt, Calvin Beachum, John Gaines coming off a knee injury. Dennis Daly's under contract, and you got a couple futures guys in Marquise Hayes, Jackson Barton, and Austin Pleasance, with DJ Humphries still on the roster, but likely out for the bulk, if not all, of next season.
Yeah, I think the starters are solidified. Calvin Beacham's probably going to run with the ones this offseason. That's going to be short-lived. The hardest part with that group is, do you sign a Band-Aid free agent tackle that can play guard, or what goes on? Because it's a good problem to have, because if you don't get a tackle, you're going to get Marvin Harrison Jr., presumably. But if you get Marvin, somebody's got to play left tackle next year. So I think DJ Humphries has played his last snap as an Arizona Cardinal. I think he's gone.
It's unfortunate. It really is. It's a brutal way to go out. You never wish for that after having such a strong career as an Arizona Cardinal and overcoming his basically redshirt rookie season where he didn't play at all. And then, he's working in right tackle, left tackle, becomes their left tackle for so long, holds it down, and works his way into not one, but two extensions. And now, unfortunately, he's going to become a cap casualty. And it's the tough part of the NFL. Pass rushers, we talked about this one already. Ojulari, Collins, Gardak, Dumakaji, Cameron Thomas, and Tyreek Smith, who they added, former Ohio State product. He's under contract going forward. Anything stand out to you as far as that group?
I just think, okay, so hang on. Bad podcasting strikes again. I'm going to overthecap.com, and you tell me if you can stomach this number, okay? This is what it's all going to be out. Does it pass the smell test? Does it pass the Tums test? if you've got indigestion, you're going to pay Zaven Collins and Dennis Gardeck about $8 million combined next year. Are you okay with that?
I'm all right with that.
Okay. Dennis Gardeck's making $3.466 million. Zaven Collins, they're right next to each other, $4.6 million. If they were both designated as post-June 1st cuts, for instance, doesn't save you very much with...
I think until you find somebody that's better, you hold on to him.
I think Zaven Collins is on the team next year for sure. I think Dennis Gardeck, you can save about $2.5 million, but he's a great guy. I mean, like he's the epitome of like culture guy. So if you can do a culture guy special teamer at $3.5 million, that's fine.
Sports hero. Johnny, did you have a bad experience with Gardeck in the past? What?
No, I want better players. Like it comes from a good place.
Yeah. Hey, better players.
How many sacks do they have?
Let's talk about some of these defensive line guys under contract. Dante Stills, solid rookie season, ended on IR. Roy Lopez, local kid, came home. I think played above people's expectations.
I would keep him. Yeah.
Phil Hoskins, I think he's a creative player he was just generated by a random name. Naquan Jones came over late season from the Tennessee Titans.
You see these people face to face in the locker room. You're that motherfucker.
I saw Phil Hoskins at Flower Child, which is a delicious
you're trying
it was a to go. I was grabbing to go.
You'd see these players and you're like, hey man, you're just such a got such a throwaway name.
Look, listen to this. I'm in Flower Child. I'm sitting there waiting for our to-go order. I'm sitting there on the chair. Phil Hoskins comes in, and I was the only guy who knew who he was because I see him in the locker room.
Did you go up to him?
No.
Dr.
I just want to let him live.
Way more mean than Johnny. I agree with that. Listen. Here are the two players that you say could crack should crack rotational spot if you get serious about your defensive line. Stills and Ledbetter. Those guys have warranted snaps next year. If any of those other guys that you just named, creative player or not, sniff the starting lineup, you have failed this offseason.
I think Roy Lopez can play the role of some of the guys that is a fringe roster guy, maybe an elevated practice squad guy, and that's not an indictment. I think that's a good role for him to have. Linebackers, Kazir White, Owen Papo, and then you got Tyreek Maddox-Williams, Trevor Nowaski. All we're doing is talking about Kazir White and Owen Papo here.
Both are back.
Yeah. And then your corners, Garrett Williams, Keitrell Clark, Starling Thomas, Kyler McMichael, who we didn't see, but I thought he was getting some run in training camp, Quavian White, and Darren Hall, who is both future contracts.
Say that again.
You got Garrett Williams, Keitrell Clark, Starling Thomas, Kyler McMichael, Quavian White, Darren Hall. This is Garrett Williams.
Top three are back, bottom three are gone.
Okay. Garrett Williams is still he's gonna stick in the slot. Like I don't envision them like, okay, next step is you play outside. I think that they think he's gonna be just a beast at the nickel corner spot.
And Keitrell Clark, was he not playing very much toward the end of the year? Starling Thomas and Antonio Hamilton were playing.
Yeah.
And do you want Starling Thomas to start next year? Like, would it shock you if they had two new starting outside corners come week one? Wouldn't shock me.
No.
Where are those people coming from? They're coming from free agency.
Safeties, this is a deep group. It's Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, Andre Sachere, Joey Blunt, who's a special teamer, Quantrez Knight, and then a futures guy in Verone McKinley.
I would say the top three guys are safe.
All right. Kicker, Matt Prater. Is he safe after his
build him a statue? If we get to a point where we're repping number 18 jerseys in the Valley, he is I'm being serious. He will be beloved here.
Mm-hmm.
No pressure. You talk about going into the next season with no pressure after blowing week 17 for your coach or week 18. They get Marvin Harrison Jr. because of Matt Prater. Everybody's going to love them some Matt Prater. He was fantastic this year. No issue.